do us all a favor, stop inviting that. When you get up in the morning, look in the mirror, instead of complaining, you should be saying, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am attractive. I am getting younger. You talk like that and God will renew your youth. I know people, the older they get, the more attractive they are. A lot has to do with our attitude. The other day, our daughter Alexandra has at work. We make a mistake. I am so clumsy. We look in the mirror. I am so old. We see somebody very talented. I am so average. We get caught in traffic. I am so unlucky. Many times we use the power of I am against us. We don't realize how it's affecting our future. Here's the principle. What follows the I am will always come looking for you. When you say, I am so clumsy, clumsiness comes looking for you. I am so old, wrinkles come looking for you. I am so overweight, calories come looking for you. It's just like you're inviting them. Whatever you follow the I am with, you're handing it an invitation, opening the door, giving it permission to be in your life. Now the good news is you get to choose what follows the I am. When you go through the day saying, I am blessed, blessings come looking for you. I am talented, talent comes looking for you. You may not feel up to par, but when you say, I am healthy, health starts heading your way. I am strong, strength starts tracking you down. You're inviting that into your life. That's why you have to be careful what follows the I am. Don't ever say, I am so unlucky. I never get any good breaks. You're inviting disappointments. I am so broke. I am so in debt. You are inviting struggle. You're inviting lack. You need to send out some new invitations. Get up in the morning and invite good things into your life. I am blessed. I am strong. I am talented. I am disciplined. I am focused. I am prosperous. When you talk like that, talent gets summoned by Almighty God. Go find that person. Health, strength, abundance, discipline starts heading your way. But how many people, when they wake up in the morning, look in the mirror, the first thing they say, I am so old. I am so wrinkled. I am so worn out. You are inviting oldness. You're inviting fatigue. Do us all a favor, stop inviting that. When you get up in the morning, look in the mirror, instead of complaining, you should be saying, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am attractive. I am getting younger. You talk like that and God will renew your youth. I know people, the older they get, the more attractive they are. A lot has to do with our attitude. The other day, our daughter Alexandra had a copy of my first book from 2004, and she was comparing the picture to my new book that was just released. She said, Daddy, you look better now than you did back then. I said, what would you like me to buy you? I was with my college roommate last week. He said, Joel, what are you doing? You're getting taller. You're growing. I said, I received that. And I didn't want to tell him that he's getting shorter. But when you go around saying, I am being renewed in my youth, I am full of health, vitality, wholeness, that's one of the best anti-aging treatments you could ever take. My mother's a great example of this. I mentioned how she just turned 78. She still looks fantastic. She's still strong, still energetic, still beautiful. But when you get up in the morning, don't talk about how old you are, how bad you look. Dare to say, I am young. I am energetic. I am vibrant. I am radiant. I am fresh. Some of you women have never once said, I am beautiful. You're so focused on your flaws and what you don't like about yourself and how you wish you had more here and less there. And I'm not pointing, but you know where I mean. When you say, I am beautiful, beauty comes looking for you. Youth comes looking for you. Freshness comes looking for you. Nobody can do this for you. It's got to come out of your own mouth. And listen, ladies, don't go around telling your husbands how unattractive you are. You should never put yourself down, and especially don't put yourself down in front of your own husband. You are his prize. To him, you're the most beautiful woman in the world. Why would you want to tell him anything differently? The last thing he needs to hear is how bad you think you look. Don't put those thoughts in his mind. It's not going to do him nor you any good to discredit yourself. If you keep telling him how bad you look, one day he may believe you. But when you say, It may not be good English, but dumbness is coming your way. I am so unattractive. I am so plain. Ugliness says, I hear somebody calling my name. Use your words to bless your future, not curse your future. The scripture says, let the weak say, I am strong. Notice just the opposite. Not, I am so tired. I am so run down. That's calling in the wrong things. Let the poor say, I am well off. Not, I am broke. I am so in debt. Let the sick say, I am healthy. I am improving. I am getting better and better. See, it says in Romans 4:18 to call the things that are not as if they already were. That simply means don't talk about the way you are, talk about the way you want to be. You're struggling in your finances, don't go around saying, oh man, business is so slow, the economy is so down, it's never going to work out. That's calling the things that are as if they will always be that way. That's just describing the situation. By faith, you've got to say, I am blessed. I am successful. I am surrounded by God's favor. I asked a young man after church last week how he was doing in high school. He said, oh, Joel, I'm doing okay. I'm just a C student. Come to find out, one of his teachers back in elementary school years ago told him he was a C student, and he let that seed take root. I told him what I'm telling you. As long as you're saying, I am a C student, you're not going to make A's. You're calling in the C's, and those C's will come find you wherever you go. If you're not careful, you'll make a C in homeroom, a C in lunch, a C in PE. Change the I am. I am an A student. I am smart. I am full of wisdom. I am a good learner. Some of you, like this young man, you've allowed what somebody said about you to hold you back. A coach, a teacher, a parent, an ex-spouse, they planted these negative seeds of what you cannot do. You're not smart enough. You're not talented enough. You're not disciplined enough. You're not attractive enough. You'll always make C's. You'll always be mediocre. You'll always struggle with your weight. No, get rid of those lies. That is not who you are. You are who God says you are. And people may have tried to push you down and tell you what you can't become. Let that go in one ear and out the other ear. What somebody said about you doesn't determine your destiny. God does. You need to know not only what you are, but you need to know what you are not. In other words, I am not who people say I am. I am who God says I am. I am not the tail. I am the head. I am not a borrower. I am a lender. I am not cursed. I am blessed. Like this young man, somebody may have spoken negative words over you even when you were younger. But know this, before anyone could put a curse on you, God put a blessing on you. Before you were formed in your mother's womb, God knew you and He approved you. When God made you, He stepped back and said, I like that. That was going to speak victory over her life. I wonder what she would do if I ever said, yeah, you're right, you don't look good at all. I'm smarter than that. I know this man that was so concerned that he was going to get Alzheimer's disease. Several people in his family had it. A grandfather, a great uncle. He was in his early 50s, but he was always talking about what might happen. He told me how he is making plans for who could take care of him, get everything lined up. Of course, it's good to use common sense, to be wise, but if you go around talking about when you're going to get it, making plans for it, most likely you won't be disappointed. You're calling it in, just like you're sending it an invitation. I told him what I'm telling you. Don't say another time that you're going to have Alzheimer's. Start declaring, no weapon formed against me will ever prosper. I will live out my days in good health, with a clear mind, with good memory, with clarity of thought. My mind is alert. My senses are sharp. My youth is being renewed. You got to prophesy health. Prophesy a long, productive life. Your words will become your reality. When our daughter Alexandra was about 4 years old, she overheard Victoria and me talking about this little boy that was having a terrible time with headaches. He was having to leave school and causing him all kinds of difficulties. Alexandra spoke up and said, Daddy, I don't have headaches and I never will have headaches. I thought, you're exactly right. You're prophesying the right thing. One time I was working on my garage door back then. I couldn't get it to go up and I was kind of frustrated. I didn't even realize Alexandra was there, but under my breath I said, this thing is never going to work. I heard this little voice speak up, Daddy, you're going to have what you say. Oh, it's terrible when your own children believe your messages. Proverbs 6 says, we are snared by the words of our mouth. Snared means to be trapped. Your words can trip you. What you say can cause you to stumble. It can keep you from your potential. You're not snared by what you think. Negative thoughts come to us all. When you speak them out, you give them life. That's when they become a reality. When you say, I'll never get back in shape, it becomes more difficult. You just made it harder. When you say, I never get any good breaks, that stops the favor that was ordained for you. If you say, I'm not that talented, I don't have a good personality, that is setting the limits for your life. That is calling in mediocrity. You may have been snared in the past, trapped by your words, but I believe this is a new day. I declare you're coming out of that trap. Every chain is being loosed. Every stronghold is coming down. No weapon formed against you is going to prosper. Now you got to do your part. Start speaking victory over your life. Say to that loneliness, that addiction, that legal problem, who are you, O great mountain, to stand before me? In other words, don't you know who I am, a child of the Most High God? Haven't you read my birth certificate? My Father created the universe. He breathed life into me, crowned me with His favor, called me more than a conqueror. That means you can't defeat me. You can't hold me back. Mountain, you've got to come down. I will overcome this illness. I will break this addiction. I will pay my house off. I will see my family restored. I will accomplish my dreams. What am I saying? Prophesy victory. Prophesy breakthroughs. Prophesy what you're believing for. In the Old Testament, Ezekiel saw a vision. He had this dream of this valley filled with bones. Everywhere he looked, it's like a huge graveyard, acres and acres of bones, people that have died. Bones represent things in our life that look dead, situations that seem impossible, like they'll never change. And God told him to do something interesting. He said, Ezekiel, prophesy to these dead bones. Say to them, oh, you dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. And Ezekiel, in this vision, he started speaking to the bones, telling them to come back to life. He called forth skin, muscle, tissue. As he was